Hey guys, what's up? Alan here. Today I'm going to be showing you a classic 4-ace production from Paul LePaul. Stay tuned. Okay, so this 4-ace production is extremely easy to do, looks amazing, will get looks and turned heads, and audiences just love it. You look like some kind of card cheating god. Let's begin. Okay, so you have the deck here, and I'm going to pull out the 4-aces. You see this actually, it's not, doesn't take too long, but it's sure not a super fast process. And if you're trying to access the 4-aces really quickly, that wouldn't be the most ideal way to do it. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you kind of a flourishy way you could find the cards if you're trying to show off a little bit. And what you would do is you just give the cards a little cut like that, and then you just give the deck a little shake, and cards tend to just want to fly out. So I'm having to use the wide angle here, of course, so you can get the whole thing here. But we have 4 cards that jumped out of the deck, and they are, in fact, the 4-aces. There's one part of this that'll take some practice, and we'll make sure to go into that in just a little bit. But first, what's happening here? So the 4-aces, you saw me do all those little mixes and everything whenever I put them back in the deck. I didn't actually put them back in the deck. I kept them all on top, and I did that with a false cut. I do this fancy cut here, but that's a completely false cut. If you want to see a tutorial for that, leave me a comment down below. But I'm going to just show you a basic cut you can do. It just looks like this, and it's called the false swing cut. So you hold the cards like this in your right hand. This is kind of a modified biddle grip. You cut over a top chunk with your index finger, take them into the left hand, you tap, and then place the right hand packet down, and then put the left hand packet down. But it keeps the 4-aces on top. Okay, so if that's the only thing you can do that. We'll cut them into the center, and then here's the part that's going to take a little bit of practice. I'm doing a well, that's a perfect Faro there. I'll leave a link for a video from like 12 years ago if you want to check that out, or I'll give you a quick explanation here. A Faro is nothing more than weaving the cards together, and it can get kind of tricky, but it's not really the most difficult thing in the world. It's just a little bit of a knack that you have to acquire. So you see how I'm holding these packets here. I'm holding them almost exactly the same. This one I'm holding in a straddle grip, and that keeps it nice and square. And then I'm holding this one in kind of a modified dealer's grip, right? Or mechanic's grip, rather. But the idea is just to get those packets as square as possible. And then I even tap them against each other and square them like that. So they're nice and flat as much as I can. And then my index finger applies pressure here to keep these cards as tight together as possible. You don't really need to do that with the top packet. But then I bring the corner in there, and I start just pushing them together. And I'm sliding the top packet a little bit to help facilitate the motion. But then you should end up with something kind of like that. And really, that's all there is to it, really. So I didn't get it perfect that time, but it doesn't really matter as long as the top portion or the top packet aces are interspersed in there. You've got the 4-aces are in the top packet whenever you cut, and then they need to be farrowed in to the bottom packet, making sure it's important here a couple of things. Right? It doesn't have to be a perfect Faro, but you do need a couple of things to happen. You need the top 4 cards, the 4-aces, farrowed pretty perfectly, and you need to make sure that the bottom packet has a card on top, so that way the top card doesn't just slide off and then off onto the floor. You hold the bottom, and you just gently shake, and the cards will come loose one at a time. You can do this with a little bit more bravado if you want to kind of cover where they're coming from. But this has never failed to get a really powerful reaction from an audience. They just love the way that looks. It's such a novel way to produce 4 cards. It looks like they're just flying out of the deck at random because they were just cut or shuffled into the deck. And it's just a beautiful production. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. About 75% of you haven't subscribed yet, so you should probably do that. Also, definitely have to thank my patrons and my newest channel member, Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Couldn't run this show without you. If you're interested in becoming a patron or a channel member yourself, there will be links in the description with more information. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.